Now Tony Abbott is gone. I can finally tell the truth about him. Folks, you made a big mistake with this bloke. No, the mistake wasn't that you voted for him. In fact, you got one of the finest human beings to be Prime Minister. In many ways, he seemed too moral for the job. Yet he achieved more in 2 years than the last two Labor Prime Ministers achieved in 6. Compare. Kevin Rudd and Julia Gillard left us with record deficits after blowing billions on trash, on overpriced school halls, free insulation that killed people, green schemes that collapsed, stimulus checks to the dead. They meanwhile opened our borders to 50,000 immigrants, illegal immigrants, and drowned 1,200. They hyped the global warming scare and forced us to pay a job-killing carbon tax just to pretend they were saving us. Abbott. No, I won't go through the whole list. How we stopped the boats, curbed spending, scrapped the useless carbon and mining taxes, led the world's defiance of deadly Russian strongman Vladimir Putin, and made us safer from terrorism. He even signed 3 free trade deals to secure jobs for our kids, including one with China that the last 3 governments couldn't clinch. And he did all this in the face of astonishing heckling and even vilification from our media class, and despite feral opposition in the Senate. Your mistake was not to care about all of that. Deeds didn't count with you. Image was all. And so you told the pollsters you didn't like Abbott. You believed the vicious crap written about him until his MPs finally panicked and dumped him. Your mistake was that you couldn't look behind the flim-flam. The way Abbott looked, the way he spoke, the way he walked, the way he ate an onion, to see what he'd actually done for you and for your country. You even laughed at some of his finest qualities and emblems of his public service. Journalists ridiculed his work as a lifesaver by mocking his costume and body hair. They dismissed his firefighting service as just a photo op, wrote his patriotism off as bigotry. When he defended women, he was called insincere. When he warned our finances were in strife or that terrorism menaced us, they called him a scaremonger. And you believed them. You let people treat like absolute dirt. A man who had a record of volunteerism no Prime Minister has equalled. Working in Aboriginal communities, life-saving, firefighting, helping people in natural disasters, and raising money for women's shelters and a hospice for dying children. And none of it was done just to puff his CV for an election. The only reason I know Abbott helped people secure their homes after one Sydney storm is that my wife's uncle asked the head of the team getting the tree off his house if that really open over there, helping to cut it away. Shh, said the captain. He doesn't like people knowing. I must declare straight up, I called Tony Abbott a friend. So you'll call me biased. You'll laugh that I can write this massive praise of him when almost everyone else is horse laughing And you'll say that's why I see more qualities in Abbott than are actually there. But you'll just be making another mistake. See, I don't think Abbott is a great man because he's my friend. He's my friend because he's a great man. Greater than the people who tore him down. He is my friend especially because he's not those things that so many journalists wrote, including some who must have known what they wrote were lies. Truth is, Abbott is not a thug, bully, racist, fool, liar, woman hater, homophobe or bigot. He's not cruel or lacking compassion. If he were any of those things, he wouldn't be my friend. Those are deal breakers for me. Those I love best, people of honour, warmth and kindness. Tony Abbott is one such man, and that he has been betrayed and deposed doesn't just break my heart, makes me fear for this country. I can only hope that Australians will one day wake up to what they've tossed away. Sorry to sound so melodramatic. But here are some glimpses of the man I know that put the lie to the trash even big name correspondents peddled about him. A woman hater? Ask his daughters. Or female chief of staff. Ask the many women on his staff. So loyal that he had one of the lowest turnovers of modern prime ministers. A crash-through, insensitive bully with no people skills? Ask my children how gentle he was when he called around. Ask one of my 2GB listeners, Pat, who rang in to say how moved he was that Abbott, on the way to a crucial question time, on the day the carbon tax was repealed, still had the time to ring Pat's dying brother. Or consider this. Just minutes after Malcolm Turnbull told Abbott he was challenging for his job, Abbott still honoured a promise to meet Girl Guides rather than hit the phones to save himself. Too loyal. Well, true. Yet when I once asked why he wouldn't buy off his critics by sacking Joe Hockey as treasurer, Abbott told me he knew Hockey actually had the talent to be great and would be if given another chance. A homophobe. Abbott actually had a deep friendship with one of my friends too, the out and proud gay commentator Christopher Pearson, and even helped carry the coffin of this much missed man. In fact, when one Fairfax writer this year accused Abbott on entirely fictitious evidence of having had a possibly homophobic moment, a gay advisor on Abbott's staff texted me in rage. If PM was so homophobic, he wouldn't be sharing the C1 car with me. Every Prime Minister thinks they don't get the press they deserve. But I bet Abbott's friends would agree that none could have been so different in the flesh from what you've read in the papers, and so much better. Shame on the journalists responsible for this great slander. Yes, I know Abbott made mistakes, and I was hard on the worst. I know he was too stubborn, and I know He was clumsy in selling himself. I even quarrelled with him privately when he too nobly refused to whack Labor leader Bill Shorten over some detail of national security. No, the country before politics, he declared. I could have shaken the silly bugger who played politics like it was cricket, and all the rest were cage fighting. God. He wouldn't even do the populist thing and just promise to build our next submarines in Adelaide. And hell with the cost of national interest. But that was Abbott. And for me, character always counts in the end. That's why I say this country has despised and rejected a great servant. It is a time of sorrow.